Okay, so today we're going to learn determine if which lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Or neither. So if two lines are parallel, their slopes are equal to each other. So you could easily write this like this. M1 is equal to M2. The slope of 1 is equal to the slope of the second equation. Perpendicular. M1 times M2 is equal to what? Negative 1. And then neither, it's when neither these are the case. So let's look at our first one, number 1. We have our M1 is going to be what? 2. Well, no. So let's review our formulas then. Y equals mx plus b. So the slope is going to be whatever is next to the x. So the slope is our m. What's our m in this first one? Just 2. M2 is going to be also what? It's going to also be 2 right there. Are these two the same? Is this 2 the same as this 2? Yes. Then they are what? Parallel. Then you should sit up front. That is the symbol right here for parallel. It's 2 lines. Yeah, I'm going to look at the M's. This one. Thanks. All right, we'll take a day off as soon as we finish this. Okay. All right. It's going to take the entire period. That was the joke. I tricked you guys. You know, you guys can have a day off right after this, right at the end of this period. No, we actually have to go pretty fast for the pep rally. All right. 3 over 4 and negative 4 over 3. Okay. M1 is equal to 3 over 4. What's our M2 going to be equal to? Negative 4 over 3. So are these two the same? No. These two are not the same, so these are not parallel. So let's multiply them together and see if they are perpendicular. Let's multiply this one, 3 over 4 times negative 4 over 3. That's going to be equal to negative 12 over 12, which is equal to negative 1. So just like what we said up here, are the slopes multiplied together equal to negative 1? Yes. So it is perpendicular. I'm going to abbreviate it perp. It's kind of like we're in a Law and Order special geometry unit. Well, this happens in special geometry unit. Is that? Yep. Mm-hmm. That's the perpendicular symbol. That's the symbol for perpendicular. Then upside down T. No phones allowed in my class. Okay, moving on. Why are we so distracted right now? Well, okay, we don't want to do this. Too bad. We still have to do it. All right. What's our M1 for this one? M1 is 3 over 2. What's our M2? 2 over 3. Are these two the same? No, so that means this is not parallel. Let's see if it's perpendicular. By multiplying them together. 3 over 2 times 2 over 3 is 6 over, which is equal to, is 1 the same as negative 1? No, so is this perpendicular? So this is going to be neither. Neither. I think it's both work. Okay. This one looks way harder, but it really isn't. This is just in point-slope form. Point-slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So m is equal to 3. m1 is equal to, oh, that's m1. m2 is equal to what? You guys think that's all true? It's all 1/3? No. Nope. Then why did you change your answer? You should have been confident in it. Right? You should have been confident. Okay. Plug these in. Or not plug these in. Are these the same? So it's not parallel. Let's multiply them together. We have 3 times 1 over 3. We can write 3 as 3 over 1. So 1 times 3 is, 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 3 is, this is equal to 1. It's not negative 1, so this is going to be neither. You guys ready to move on to the next one? What is the slope for this one, Valeria? What is the slope for this one right here? Good job, Valeria. 4. What is the slope for this second one? Don't yell it out. The second one, who should I call on? Jonathan. 4. So what type of lines are these? Don't yell it out loud. Clarissa. Parallel? Are you sure it's parallel? Okay, so are you willing to bet your phone on this? All right, you are correct. That's iffy. Okay, your homework is 1 through 9. 1 through 9. Cool. What? Okay, guys, stop. All right, now we're going to do the more difficult ones. All right, number 13. Write the equation for a line that goes through 2, 2, that is perpendicular to the line that goes through -3, 9, and 4, 5. 4, -5. So we have a line, and we're trying to find the equation of this line right here that goes through this line, and it is perpendicular. It's not that bad. But in order to find if two things are perpendicular, you need to find the slope of both, right? So let's find the slope of this first line right here. We know this is going to be x1, y1, x2, y2. We know the formula for slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Plug these into our formula. Y2 is negative 5 minus y1, which is 9, divided by x2, which is 4, minus negative 3. So this is going to end up being negative 5 minus 9, which is negative 14. Negative 14 over 7, which simplifies to be, so we know our first slope is negative 2. If it's perpendicular, it has to be different slopes, right? The two equations for the two different lines has to be different. So this one can't be the answer. It has the same slope. Okay, if you say so. No. Well, let's figure out what the slope has to be. We know in order for it to be perpendicular, it has to be m1 times m2 equals what? Plug this in here. Negative 2 times, we don't know what m2 is equal to negative 1. Divide both sides by negative 2. Yeah. All right. But let's figure it out mathematically. We know m2 is equal to negative 1 over negative 2. Negative 1 divided by negative 2 simplifies to, 1 over 2. 1/2, yeah. It would be C. Were you confused on this part? Negative 1 divided by negative 2 is just, these signs cancel out. Well, we don't pretend this is like an x. We know negative 2 is equal to m1, right? We don't know what m2 is. That's what we're solving for. So we essentially solve for this. 2x is equal to negative 1. Oh, sorry, negative 2x is equal to negative 1. It's essentially what we solved. But instead of x, we used m2. Okay, we think the answer is C. And I'm pretty sure you guys are right. But let's use our point slope formula to figure out what the actual answer is. We are using point slope because we have a point we want the line to go through, and we have a slope we want to use. Point slope is y minus y1 is equal to x times x minus x1. Oh, sorry, you're right, it is m. I was testing you, you passed. Plug it in. This is your x1, this is your y1, because you want those to go in there. Y minus 2 is equal to m, which is 1/2, times x minus 2. Now we got to do, we're trying to get y by itself, right? So let's add 2 to this side and add 2 to this side, right? So we have y is equal to 1/2 times x minus 2 plus 2. Does that look right? That looks the same as that? So we're still not done. We need to distribute it. Perfect. Distribute the 1/2 here. Distribute the 1/2 here. So we have y is equal to 1/2 times x plus minus 1/2 times negative 2 is going to be what? Negative 1 plus 2. Y is equal to 1/2 x. Negative 1 plus 2 is going to be plus 1. Is that the same as this? Oh. Not really. All right, one last one. And then it's quiz time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Probably. What? Hmm? Not as good as you guys, though. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What? What is the equation for a line perpendicular to y equals negative 1/3 x plus 3 and contains 16? So we need to figure out the slope for it to be perpendicular, just like before. It's perpendicular, so we know m1 times m2 is equal to negative 1. Do we know what our m1 is, our first equation? In our first equation? Negative 1/3 times. Do we know what our m2 is? So we're just going to leave it as m2 is equal to negative 1. We need to get rid of this 1/3, right? There's a 3 on the bottom, so what are we going to multiply the top by? 3. We can't just multiply one side by 3, right? We have to multiply both. 3 times 1, negative 1 is going to be negative 3 over 3 times m2 is equal to negative 3. Negative 3 divided by 3 is what? Negative 1. So negative 1m2 is equal to negative 3. Divide both sides by negative 1, and we get m is equal to negative 3 divided by negative 1 is just 3. So we figured out the slope. We could probably figure out the answer already. But let's plug it into our point slope form. OMG. Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Y minus y1, this is our x1, this is our y1. 16 is equal to 3 times x minus 6. Distribute here, distribute here. Y minus 16 is equal to 3x minus 18. We want to add 16 to both of these. And we get y is equal to 3y minus 2. Is that the same answer as... Oh, ooh. That would have been awkward if we got that wrong, right? All right. You guys have a quiz on Schoology, yeah. No, it's pronounced...
You don't say how big is wall. It's wall. I go to high school.
All right. Your quiz is this one right here. Yep. Okay.